Hey there guys, welcome back to another Tasting Tuesday video. I hope you're having a great start to your week. I hope your weekend was awesome. I hope you guys tried some new things, did your own tasting, but we're back and we're moving to Scotland this week with one of my all-time favorite scotches, DEWARS 21-year blended scotch. Now, DEWARS is one of the more affordable ones on the 12-year. I had tried it a bunch. You know, if I couldn't afford Glenfiddich or something like Macallan, you know, a 12-year from DEWARS, I think it's blended. It's a little less quality, and so the price point was way lower, usually in the $20 to $30 range, sometimes under 20. So DEWARS is very affordable, and as you get higher up, you would think they would get better, and they do, but it takes quite a leap at the 21-year. I think this it's one of the best values for DEWARS. This was a half bottle. I think this was, $89 at the time. I'd have to look up what it costs now. I know they sell it as a full bottle. And the 30-year was actually, I think, the top rated whiskey on the Curiosity Public channel on YouTube. And when that came out, I remember they were so surprised. It blew them away. And I was like, I haven't had the 30, but the 21 is fantastic. And so I agree with them. I think the 30's got to be even better. And for the value and the quality on this one, it's really amazing. I remember I bought it. I tried it over a weekend trip. We went up to, I think, Big Bear. And I came back and I bought my father-in-law a bottle. I said, this is so good, you got to try this. And he liked it, but he ended up giving me back the bottle about a year and a half later. And so I brought it on the bar cart, and I said, before I drink the rest of it, I got to do a tasting of this because it's just so good. So this is a blended Scotch whiskey, so it's not single malt. It's blended with different barrels, different whiskeys. So let's give it a smell. Immediately that raisin leather wood. I remember right after I bought this, I bought like a really cheap kind of, off-branded Total Wine 21-year, or maybe it was a 30-year, something crazy. I remember I wasn't 30 yet, and I had bought this 30-year whiskey, and I was really excited that it was older than me. I was drinking a whiskey older than myself. And then I bought this like the next month, and I was like, man, this is so much better for 21-year. So don't get always caught up in the age statement on it. I like that there's YouTube channels now where they'll, do a 10, 15, 18, 21, 30, 40, 50, and they'll try them all. And they're usually like, the 20 was kind of where it peaked. And I think that's a really good insight because, they just get more and more expensive because it's, the evaporation from the barrel is storing it for all those years. At the end of the storing of 40, 50 years, you're going to have very little whiskey left to sell. That makes it very expensive, but it's not always better than something that's a 20-year. So, the nose is incredibly rich. Raisins, orange peel, hint of cherry, hint of maraschino cherry. The cherries you have in the sauce and the juice that you throw into a Manhattan. Liqueur soaked cherry. Now a little bit of that malt. Wow, let's give this a taste. Wow. I took a sip and I grabbed the bottle because I was wondering if it was 40% because it didn't hit me with that over alcohol that I usually get if it's higher than 40, and it's 46%. So again, that smoothness factor, I feel like this is drinking much more like a 42, 43% whiskey, not a 46. This is my favorite scotch. I haven't tried the 30-year. I love GlenDronach. 12 and 15 is really great. Macallan's great. Some of the higher end Macallans are really good, but I mean, a Macallan 18 might beat this, but I mean, for the value on this is hands down the best whiskey scotch in the price range. I mean, I think it's around $100, $120, if I'm not mistaken, for this full size bottle. You're not going to find anything in the category that comes close to this. Maybe a Highland Park 15 or 18. The double wood, double aged in two casks. I believe they're both new casks, and then they 4-stage aging. They finish it in sherry casks, which I love sherry. If you like Macallan, that has a sherry inspired finish. Glendronach would be very similar. I think Glendronach is a great value if you love Macallan. It's a kind of a knockoff Macallan. It's really great. I think Glenfiddich even has a sherry finish 12-year now that is great. It kind of rivals both of those. But the quality here, the wood, the explosion of leather, of tobacco, of orange peel, of raisin. I mean, the age just kind of blows you away. I mean, when I first started trying scotches, all I could afford was lower end, 12-year, maybe a 15-year here or there. I still can't even get into the high age ones because they're just so expensive. But I have tried some at a bar or take a shot at a local place or do a tasting of something, so you get to try some of the older ones. And before I tried them, this is what I thought an aged 50-year whiskey would taste like. Like, the amount of depth in every sip of this is just fantastic. I've come to learn that not all 40, 50-year whiskeys do taste like this, and I think there is kind of a sweet spot. But this value is just amazing. I mean, it's changing. It's way more orange now. It's a little bit of apricot, hint of cinnamon, hint of what? I mean, this is evolving as I'm sipping it. And in the middle there's just a hint of that DEWARS 12-year that I used to buy for $20 when I didn't have any money. And it's okay. It's not the best. Gonna warn you now. Probably worth your money to go up to 30, 35 to get the Glenfiddich 12-year. Or go, if you can find Glendronach, I think it's like 40 or 50. That's probably a better buy for scotch. But you get a hint of that 12-year in this. And it just shows you with 9 more years, double wood, a great blend, sherry finish, sherry cask finish. I mean, this is probably the best scotch that I've ever tried. And I have not taken a sip of this in 2 years because I moved more into tequila. It was my favorite scotch at the time, and it just blew me away again. Wow. Again, this is the half bottle. Whew. It's great. I mean, the quality in this is really amazing, and the richness, the wood. If you like Woodford Reserve or some bourbons, you're getting a little bit of that in this, but so much more elegant. It's fantastic. This is a bottle you got to have on your shelf for the holidays. Don't get the small bottle like I did. It's not enough. Get the big bottle, get the full size, $7.50, and it is worth the money. I'm not really quite sure what the price point is now. I think it's over 100, but if it's under 100, even better. But this is a must buy. This is probably the best scotch that I've ever tried. Doesn't quite match up to like a Yamazaki 12. I really like Yamazaki 12, but this is great. Maybe we'll do Hibiki next week on Tasting Tuesday. I'm going to give this a rating. 9.5 out of 10. This is just the full package. This just has everything that I like. Again, you may taste it and say that's not for me. But if the things I just described to you are things that you like in a whiskey and a scotch, then you got to try this. You got to taste this. I mean, this is phenomenal. DEWARS 21-year double wood, double aged for ultra smoothness. Small batch. That is a winner. So that'll wrap us up this week, guys, and we'll see you back here next week for another tasting.